in the house is the same in the job, but maybe in different situation the law is more easy for the woman, because what happen if maybe a discussion or the fighting if, for example, a woman and man is fighting in the house, the police believe more in the woman. The reason is because the woman is more maybe, I don't know, um
More honest.
no, then it's not honest, because many women in the war fighting with or push anything, many men's, but the police or the law believe more in the woman, and this is not equal. It's not the same deal. For example, in different jobs, no accept women because the activity is not for a woman, and the woman thinking this is a discrimination, but for me it's not discrimination. It's just the activity or this job is not for a woman because maybe the force is not the same. Actually, in Mexico, who is who is the boss in the house? For me, the boss in my house when I was a child is my father, because my father provide all resources, the food, money, school, and my mom care my brothers. The reason why my dad was the boss is because my dad tried to protect the family, tried to provide the food for survivor, and almost in the major of the family, the person to provide the food is the father. But actually, in a common family, both persons are working. This is the reason why actually is the equal men's, because and the kids are in the kindergarten no matter if it's a little kid, it's a baby, when the kid born. And actually, the woman made different marches for the quality, but the woman confused freedom with quality equality, because in many marches the woman destroy different buildings or make graffiti in different streets. And I thinking, what is the reason the woman make march no with peace, no march with peace, march for equality and destroy different buildings, because is the way to represent the woman, but it's not good, because the image, because the image of the woman is is different for me. Don't need marches without peace. It's better stay in home or stay in job and try to be a good person, no matter if you set is a different. But actually is the same. The equality between woman and men is the same, because both persons are working and provide the same resources to the home. But maybe the kids is not the same, because it's not the same person care your kids. It's better stay care with a mother and not for a stranger person, because I don't know what happened in the kindergarten. Maybe the kindergarten don't have a good reputation. And for me, it's important the kids, a little kids, stay with the mother.
Yes, Surinder sir, Lena told us a lot of idea regarding man versus woman. Please say something, Surinder sir.
Yes, thank you. Uh, as we are discussing about the women empowerment, women equality in our society, uh, in India, uh, women are gaining their equality nowadays, but in earlier days there was a lot of differences in our society. Uh, our society is paternal leaded society, as uh, any woman getting after getting married has to go to their husband house. This means husband leaded house. You have to live there. You have to follow some rules there over there, and you have to leave your house, your birthplace. And some works are there that women are not doing. That is only for the men. Like force is also joined right now, but most of the person like soldiers are only men. We are discussing in our education system also. Education system now it it is changing the track. Uh, I recalling my childhood days when a few girls were in my class. That means parents did not send to their girl child to the school because they were thinking that these girls are for for other persons. These girls to be has to be go to other house. So why I should go to teach them? So usually they would get some education like little bit. They were not getting higher education like engineers and doctors. Very few girls they were gaining. But nowadays, as I am running my school, so now equality we can see like 50-50 percentage are girls and boys in the classes, and girls are taking education. But at the higher level, if we go at the higher level, there are imbalance. Always parents prefer to boys to send to get higher education, except girl child. That means doesn't mean that girls are not getting higher education, but there are imbalance. There are not equality, not 50-50 percentage. Boys and girls are in the higher education. Some girls are going to get higher education of as doctors and engineers and civil services. They are taking place, but not as whole as boys. So there are inequality in our society about girls and boys. Always parents think about uh, their boys, their sons, and if any parents in our society there are two or three girls taking birth, they will wait for the boy to take their uh, to lead their what is called generation. So leading for the leading their generation, they wait for boys till the boy. Namaste, sir.
Namaste, namaste.
We are discussing here today women empowerment about equality between boys and girls in the society.
Oh, very good topic. Very good topic. Continue.
Yes, thank you. So now it is in India, track is changing, and girls are also taking place, and girls are also fighting. Now it is easy to get job for the girls compared to boys because there are reservation for the girls also, and companies employs as a HR department also be I have seen politeness to the girls, but in the village areas we can see that a lot of household work are also doing girls only, as the caring of the babies and many kinds of household work are being done only by girls, only by women. And after getting the education till class 12th, they didn't go to get higher education. In the particular, I'm saying for the village areas. In village areas, very few girls are taking higher education in India. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Sanjay, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Please carry on.
So now women are also now are getting their position, and they are fighting with the boys. So competition is generated between boys and girls. But in earlier days, if we recall, that there was a lot of imbalance in our society. Very few girls were getting higher education. Only for the primary education they ended. So I think track is changed, and but we cannot say that there is equality between boys and girls. Always parents think about their boys. If there is a girl baby taking birth, two or three babies, they will wait for the boys till boys is not taking birth, because in our society, parental leaded generation, they waited. So I think uh, there is some inequality in our society. Not cannot say We cannot say that there is equality between boys and girls. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I have one question, and what is your opinion? In the ancient time, yes, the boss is the man, and actually is the same, because maybe it's a equality between the woman and men. But what is your opinion? Only it's a imagine. But what happen if one day your wife say, and reserve for survivor in the house? What are you thinking in your mind like a man?
Sorry, Brenda, can you repeat question?
Yes. The question is, in the ancient time, yes, the man is the boss, but is the maybe the same? Not in all families. Maybe in the high families is the equality, because both person working and provide money to the house. But what happen if one day your wife say, you don't work, you stay in home with the kids and care, and the woman going to work and provide the money for food or different groceries?
When the question is ancient time only man is boss in family, yes. And right now, is any change? Then the
Yes, as Brenda is asking, if why your wife is saying that you stay at your home, and your wife
Yes.
is want to go at office for the doing work for the earning purpose. What is your opinion on this? We will let her go, and we will stay at her home.
but practically we see that here is yes, husband and wife both are working people, but exceptional case only. Only wife is working and husband is not working people. And
as
as
per
per
my
my
view,
view,
both
are
are
same. Doesn't matter
same. Doesn't
who
matter
is working
who
and
is
not
working
working.
and not working.
Family, if
Family,
husband is
if
working,
husband is working
wife
people
is
and
like
wife is as like
housewife.
a housewife,
But her
but her
contribution for
contribution
family
for
is
Yes,
family is
yeah.
like equal,
like equal.
as like equal. Doesn't matter she is working or not working.
Yes, Sanjay sir.
Yes, Sanjay sir.
But this is the inequality, na sir. This
Sorry.
is the
Sorry.
inequality. Always it is regarded that husband should be working person and wife should be at their home for the household work.
No, it's not
No, it's not
equality.
equality. It's a
It's
time.
work is
It's a work is
distributed.
distributed. Means
Both husband
both
are working.
husbands are
So
working
why
for earn
why
money.
why 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 wife should not go to out of the house for the work purpose, for the earning purpose, and why husband should not stay at home for the household work?
No, no.
Suppose
Suppose
birth
kids
by
birth by
wife is
wife
not
only.
possible
It's
by
not
husband.
possible by husband.
Yes.
Yes. So naturally,
Naturally, work is
naturally work is
distributed.
distributed
This man and
in
woman.
man and woman.
Yeah, because in Mexico, uh, in different families, the the man care the kids and the woman work. And in Mexico, the boss is the person who work
Yes, it's always
Yes,
and
it's always
provide
true.
the money for the house. Because maybe money is the power. The money is the power.
if husband not
If husband
working,
not
then what
working,
they
then what
work
they work
all day like
all day
how
like
husband.
house husband.
No, this is a simple. Many men don't like the work and say to the wife, I prefer stay in home and care the child, and the woman go to go into work and provide the money. This is the reason. It's not a old man. It's a normal man. This is the actuality.
I think it's
I think
only
it's a only
Is
exceptional
the
Brenda.
case,
same
Brenda.
case. Yeah, exceptional case is is the same is the same case with the woman. Many women I don't like to work. I prefer staying home and care the child. But for example, for me, actually, I don't have kids, but in the future, I prefer to work and provide the same money like a man.
Yes,
Yes,
nowadays
Fifty
nowadays
percentage of
fifty.
percentage
husband
of
and wife
husband and wife
working
working is
better than
greater
ancient
than
time.
ancient time. Ancient
Maximum
time maximum
women
women
are
are
like
like
housewife.
housewife,
Nowadays,
but nowadays
husband and wife.
husband and wife both are working people.
So, what is Sanjay ji has to say about it?
Yes,
I'm
Sanjay
Yes,
sir,
listening.
Sanjay sir,
please say something
please say
regarding
something
this.
regarding this.
Man
Good
and
morning,
woman.
Man and woman.
everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good
This is an
morning, sir.
interesting topic, I guess. I guess the topic is on husband versus wife, working wife versus working husband. Is it true? What is the topic
Yes,
today?
Yes, topic
Yes,
is
topic is
yes, is
man and
man
woman.
and woman.
It's
Is
equal or
equal or
man
man is
is powerful
powerful
than
than
man or
woman
woman is
or woman
powerful
is
than
powerful than
man. But our
man.
topic
But
is
our
man
topic is
versus
man versus woman.
In general.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is very,
Yes.
very vast topic, and many things can be covered under this, and very interesting topic. So if we just compare men versus women, we know that God has made them different for different purposes on this planet. So we 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 know the purposes, the physiological and biological purposes are totally different. Apart from that, if we see in economy, social, and polity, these are the broad areas where comparison can be done. Then, if we see, most of the discussion I see is on economy, like working husband versus working wife, or working man versus working woman. So definitely, women have contributed a lot. If I see my own case, uh, when we moved to Singapore, my wife was not working for a couple of years. Then she took her own initiative and became a teacher. She got trained herself and became a teacher, and now for past several years she has been a teacher. And I see that keeps her very happy because kids are grown up, nothing much to do at home apart from house core work, which that never ends. So when she goes out, she feels very happy, relaxed, and uh, a fulfilled woman. This is what I see. She has gotten also some awards and all those things. And uh, if you see the new generation, so in our generation, there were some women working, some were not working. But the generation of my son, I see there is no question that women will work or not. They all go to school, college, and then eventually they end up in doing work. So everyone is working in this new generation, irrespective of their gender. If we see the social framework, then this generation has no difference between men and women. So women can take any role in society, and they have been taking. I can see uh, many women have become CEOs, and also they have become head of institutions like World Bank, all those institutions which have made a big difference in the whole world. And also, if you see polity, we know the head of many states, many countries are women now. So, but having said that, men are also playing their important role. So there is a time when there is a I won't say tussle or struggle, some kind of uh, uh, rugging is going on to find their own niche, men versus women. Where are they and where they want to go? So also we know that there are many societies where the whole system is matriarchal. Some societies are patriarchal, some societies are matriarchal. Like if we see in northeast of India, many of the tribal societies are matriarchal. Woman is the head of the family, not man. And also in some societies we see that when they marry, men has to give dowry to get married with the woman. So we have seen different things. So all these are man made. Nothing was made by God. And as the civilization evolved, all these things as per the localized conditions, customized traditions evolved at those places. Like in Mexico, Brenda said that whoever earns the money, he or she is the boss of the home. So this is this is a tradition in Mexico. I'm sure if you see the most developed nation, the United States, I don't think there is much difference between men and women as in terms of working in the area of economy or social or political. In fact, the vice president of United States is a woman now. So Yeah, so definitely, a, a lot of uh, evolution is still taking place. I won't say the whole world is stabilized, men versus women, and it will continue. It will continue to have its unity as well as diversity in terms of roles and responsibility of men and women in our society. I think I have given a very high level of thought, not much local thought. So if I see my own home, my elder son's girlfriend, she also studied at a very prestigious university, Yale University, and now she is also working as a management consultant. So, so if I see my own home, I see that both my wife and my elder son's to be wife, they're all working. And and if I see my mom, she was a housewife. She never worked. She was not so literate. She studied only up to primary school. So in older time, not much opportunities or the societal pressure was there to get educated. So it was more agraria society, uh, other rather than industrial society. So in agraria society, the framework was totally different. But now it is moving from agraria to industria, from rural to urban migration. So society is moving towards that. Then in this mode, we see a lot of transition taking place, transformations are taking place, and these changes are for good as well as they have all the changes have pros and cons, I will say. So if we consider a home where you have husband, wife, and children or child, then in earlier time there were a lot of opportunity for children to associate with both, more time to associate it with mother as compared to father. And as the time is progressing, both mother and father they are working, then the children have less opportunity to associate it with mother. And as we know, that nature has made mother a different person as compared to father. Both have their own role to bring up child. So I'm sure there will be some repercussion of this change on the children, future children. They will be more. They will pick up values of nannies and whoever is taking care of them, maybe grandparents, or if grandparents are taking care of children because both husband wife were working, then it is a good thing. Kids will pick up values of their grandparents. But if the kids are left with nannies or housemaids, then they will pick up values of those housemaids. And I'm not sure what parents want. Do they want those values to be picked up, or they want to inculcate values of their own into their children? uh, Likewise, if we see the effect of women working in corporate world or industry, the the one of the advantages is, like, women have a better understanding of emotions, and at workplace or at home or any place, emotions play a very crucial role, I will say. Emotion is nothing but energy in motion, E plus motion. So emotion actually drives everything that we do, right? Even if we are coming to this platform to discuss every morning, there is some emotion behind that for everyone, and that drives us to come here. So same thing at work as well. So if woman is there, she understands emotions better than men. This is what is my observation. It's not that I don't understand emotions, but they have more understanding and more assimilation of a lot of emotions. Say there are nine types of rasas, nav rasas in Indian tradition defined. A woman may be understanding all the nine rasas, but a man may be understanding, seven or eight or five. It depends on the man, how he has been brought up and what exposure he has. So that will bring, different perspective at work when a woman is leading a team, because she will drive, organization in a different way. And also the compassion that woman has as compared to men will be different, because always it is said that nature, mother nature, so uh, 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 a woman is well recognized for her compassion, her love, her care, and understanding things. And most about it is the communications skill that woman has as compared to men are totally different. So definitely these things, will bring different outcome in our industry, in our society, when woman is there as compared to men. And in many societies there are reservations for women to encourage women to come up. I know in India constitution has given some rights to women. I'm sure in other countries also it may be there. And yeah, so I think I have said a lot. I can keep going and comparing men versus women in different aspect. Am I talking senseful things or
Yes, yes, sir. Thanks, sir.
yeah.
You provide a lot of idea regarding man versus woman.
Yes, yes, yes. So it has to be
Thank you, sir.
seen in a very balanced way. Thank you, thank
Now, I
This is
request to Amarnath, sir,
this.
please say something, sir, because USA society is a developed society. So I think Amarnath, sir,
I want to hear first from Brenda. I think she was going to say something. So please, Brenda,
Oh
go ahead.
yeah,
What you
I
continue?
agree with Sam Angie. The woman is so emotional.
Yeah.
It's so
Okay.
emotional,
So,
but the man is for me it's the part of root of the family.
mhm. Okay.
My father
Uh,
in my father in my home was the boss
yeah.
because my father provide the resources, the money for pay different resources and house, and my mom care my brothers. And for me, it's good because my mom is a gentle woman, and for me, is the best person care of me. I prefer stay in home with my mom, and maybe other kids don't have the opportunity this opportunity and go to the kindergarten and in the kindergarten I don't know what type of person care of you because it's a stranger person.
Okay. That's all you have to say. You're
Yes,
done.
I share in. Yes,
Okay. All right. Okay. So I think you guys have already summarized almost everything. I mean, this topic is always going to be controversial, right? This because, you all have one point or other mentioned that continuously society is going through transformation and industrialization. That has been our history of civilization of let's call it 10,000 years old civilization. We know for 7,000 years sure in India, China, in Egypt, in Mayan civilization we have been living. So let's keep like 10,000 years of civilization. So as as we have been kind of call it maturing, uh, things have been changing. Basically, we have been frozen in time for, I think, for quite some time, for 3,000 years in agrarian agricultural society. And three things which indicate you the frozen time is the chariot. We never moved beyond chariot for a very long time. How do you drive like farm equipment, horse, wagons, and everything? If you look at all our historical text, you see like from 5 6,000 years back to very recently up to like 15th 16th century, we have pretty much a very agrarian fixed society, and that society more or less have been patriarchal, where men had the responsibility of bringing resources by doing whatever jobs, all the external activities, and women were boss of the house inside what happens in the house, taking care of kids, taking care of husband, taking care of food, taking care of all that. So that was a kind of uh, uh, again for that society a developed kind of uh, work distribution, and it has been working fine. But suddenly now, after 16th century, scientific revolution started, and now we have pretty much entered uh, basically any society when it starts making money, if there is a takeoff in the development and activities and lifestyle, and after takeoff, it's like the airplane goes in the air after takeoff. Similarly, society economically in the ladder, when you take off, then you enter into high mass consumption, and pretty much developed country are already there in the era of high mass consumption, and developing countries are pretty much taking off to enter that kind of consumer based society. So that is the transformation happening, and it is happening every day in our lifetime. We see that how things are changing, and this has put kind of old system which was working for a very long time very well, uh, now in kind of what should I say, that questionable now. It doesn't work exactly like uh, you try to use a mathematical formula which works for many questions, but for some of the questions it doesn't work. Similarly, we are like right now in the society, and this will continue. This is not going to be any better, I would say, and the stress and strain of the modern society is the reason for all these uh, internal what you call the changes we are observing, and stress we see in the society. Now, coming back to what is happening, let's say, for example, you guys asked about the US society. So, US society is pretty much developed in the sense that, yes, people, uh, a large percentage of population still get married, and they meet somewhere in school, college, work, and they decide to tie the knot. And they're always nuclear family here, means wife, husband, and small children. No old style traditional family of three generations anymore. So even if say you have father and son living in the same town, maybe they will live like few houses apart, but they will not live together. That's we are like birds now. That's what one time Pankaj was quoting. So I'm quoting his words. Yes, we as soon as they get married, they leave the home, and home become empty nested. So that is the case if they get married. But because of social, and work pressure and so many other things, freedom in all kind of activities in the society, the old systems are breaking. For example, in this society, marriage is not anymore a traditional system to have children or uh, even to uh, live together. They can live if they want to. Also, like many of them, boys and girls, since they are working, their profession is more important to them. Their freedom is more important to them. Their complete control of their life is important to them. So many of them, uh, they don't have time for married life or even like what you call living together type of environment. So they are preferring not to get into relationship. They may have temporary relationship here and there, but more or less, they don't want to deal with that. And that is the common situation right now I see here, pretty much in all segment of society, whether it is Indian, European, or American, or Spanish, or you know, even the Muslims have that problem. That's surprisingly, because Muslims are very orthodox in this matter. They always like to have more uh, children because of their religious, political views of how they want to control the world. But even their children, they don't follow that norm in this country. And so this is what is happening. Now, if they come into relationship or get married, then yes, then question comes that they have to work together, take care of all the chores in the home, taking care of children. And that is where really the problem begins. I think major problem is there right now. Why relationship doesn't work? That it's okay when they fall in love, they jump into relationship and then have uh, life together. But once children come, they have not experienced, or I would say, they have not projected in advance that how much time-consuming work is to raise a child, and that really stresses them. Now they have basically work front, home front, their own relationship, their friends, and they feel like they have to compromise one thing or the other. And they feel that they are like limited or incomplete. They don't have everything they want, especially they don't have time to enjoy the life the way they would like to lead. So that is what is happening in the society. And so basically, you see that um, very few marriages. Average married life in this country is about 7, 8 years. That's it. If they decide to choose, a lot of people like right now the scale is that nobody even thinks of marriage until they are in 30s, boys or girl, and maybe probably around 40 they really think seriously that what they want to do. Girls are like 35 to 40, boys are also around 35 to 45 range. I mean, what we call in India and other developing Mexico countries a middle age. That is here the age when they start getting into this one, and so that puts them into a situation where they cannot have too many children, and in fact, they don't want too many children. Normally, the norm is to have a very small family. If they decide to have children, they also prefer to adopt, and that's what is the situation. Financially, both of them are working. I would say that bringing money to the family for the expenses is also the reason for breakup or strain, but it's not a big factor because I think both sides make sufficient money, which even if the other partner is not really contributing much, they could probably manage. That's how the financially. So it's the more of a social and other aspect which really put a strain in the relationship of family values, and that's what is right now. Uh, Suppose they get married and have children. I have seen all kind of mixed combination, where like sometimes women would stay home for a couple of years, and then they decide they would go for work. Uh, that's very common here. Government also allows you to take maternity leave. Even for the father is also paternity leave available, so you can take advantage of that. So that's the most common uh, children raising environment, that women spend some time at home and then they go back to work. That's fine, but that little bit put them behind, because when you have this thing going on, companies or corporate America think that okay, now you have really sidelined yourself from the mainstream of work. So there is a financial impact, promotional impact, all that. So yes, there is a some discrimination because of that. If you compare the male with a female in the corporate America, that the, how to go on the top, I think this also become a factor why women are not going all the way to the top. I mean, they are going, but they are not going in numbers as men in the society, like top level management or all this, because they have to raise family, they have to do this, that, and they when they compromise on all those things, they miss at work. So that is what is happening. Many places you see like middle class and lower middle class or poor class families, whoever makes better money will go to work, and the other partner spouse would take care of children and household things. So that's how right now the social structure is working in American society. I hope this answers and gives you a little perspective. Let's see if you have any question.
Sir, right now
Sir, right
we see that
now we see that maximum
family
family,
and wife
husband and wife are working.
sometimes
So sometimes we see that this is also
reason for
main reason for
break of something.
break up something.
Yes, there is. I mean, like I said, there is a stress because of that. Because now, when both are working, who's going to cook the dinner, right? And that's why you have so much restaurant in this country. Many times, half the time, people are just eating out, which is not good. We all know it, especially for children. It's not good for anybody actually. So that is one of the problem, because who's going to cook, who is going to clean, who is going to take care of. Uh, I mean, many times they work together as a team and do it, then everything functions. It's not always like 50-50 type. They have very collaborative environment and they take care of it. So it works. But sometimes when emotions play, and for one emotional reason or other, when both partners start drifting apart, then they start looking for excuses for things, right? To fight or to not stay together or blame each other. It's normal human psychology, and that's it. Once that starts happening, then that's the beginning of the end of the uh, family life, and that's why you see every 7-8 years, it's very common in this country that people marry like 2-3 times, and they go through the same cycle.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How's it in India now, Pankaj ji and
In
Devendra ji?
India,
In India,
maximum
maximum
now the
now
growing
it's growing regarding husband and wife both are working society. It's now
Hmm.
growing
compared to ancient times.
compared to ancient times, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir. In government department also, defense department is also reserved for girls. It's also good regarding women.
Compared to ancient times, right now government is
Right now,
also
government is
pushed
also
to
pushed to
girls
girls.
defense jobs.
Yeah, I mean, that is the case everywhere. In every society, here also, women are encouraged at workplace because, uh, still we don't have enough engineers in this country or technicians or so. Like for example, I have seen that sometimes in the hiring, hey, we have to hire a female candidate this time. That goes and focus becomes that we need to find because we don't have anybody in this department. We should have at least one woman in the department. So they start looking. So now men are out that time in the selection. Uh, we already deliberately. I mean, um, and I mean that's what it is because it's hard to find woman candidate because they have household thing to take care of. I think so. In the prime time when they have children, many of them prefer to stay home because, as you know, like we talked about, nature has built them more caring than men. So they are a natural parent to stay with the small kids, right? Compared to men. So that's why most of the society have this kind of uh, preference for women to stay home and take care of kids. But once that part is over, like first 2 years, I think then it becomes the game who has the time to do it and where is the advantage for the family if man makes more money than man goes to work. If woman is more capable of making money, then I see here also a very common place that man stays home, cook, clean, take care of kids because raising kids here is not easy. You have unlike India that you send to school and then they come home and they do the homework. Here almost kids have everyday activity. Someday they are doing swimming, someday they are playing music, someday they are going to dance. So it's not only that you cook for them, food provide. You have to take care of them in the evening also, and then in the late night, when they are ready to go, you spend some time with them as at least one parent, and then you read bedtime stories to them before they go to sleep. They all have the kids here in this country have their own room. Like that's very American standard that kids don't sleep with parents, unlike in many other countries. So American families, as soon as they come back from hospital, kids will have their own room. Only wife and husband stays in their bedroom, and a newborn baby of like uh, 2 weeks when they come back from hospital or one week will start basically living in the room by himself or herself. Of course, they will have like many gadgets to monitor the kids, but so right from the beginning they are growing up alone. That is something very very different I found in this country compared to our country. Can you imagine that? Uh, 1 week or 2 week after 30, like 6 days we call it, you are encouraged to become independent in your room. If you need milk, you will cry, and then your mother or father will come with a bottle for you. If diaper change need to be done, you have to cry, or they will periodically know that this is time for it. So they would do the change, and they will decorate your room with a lot of colors, lot of toys, this, that. I mean, you have all the gadgets, music, everything, but uh, it is not like Asian countries where you spend all the time 24 by 7 with your parents or grandparents or some relative. No, you spend a very small amount of your 24 hours with parents or grandparents if they come for visit, but mostly you will be in your room by yourself. And
Some sad.
yeah,
Yeah,
Eventually,
I think is this is I think this is sorry.
Yes, yes, Brahma.
Oh, I think this is the difference between USA and India, because yes, in India both person are equal, both person worth, but the difference here is in India the the man and woman get married, but in USA or Mexico it's a free relationship.
yep,
It's not a traditional marriage, and this is the reason why the people miss or lost the values, because the values on the family is important, and make the both person try to keep stay always together. And this is my example. For example, I have 29 years old. I am a single, and yes, I wanna take a marriage in the future, maybe in 3 or 4 years. I wanna I wanna to get married, but actually I prefer focus on me and maybe be more independent and buy a house, because I wanna provide to my family the same part, 50-50, the same with the a man, because I don't wanna be a slave.
yep,
Yes, I
and
like
that's
care the yes, I like care my son. I like cook my husband, but I like to provide money to the house. But yes, this is a lot of activities.
yeah,
Work, care the kids, and care the husband. This is a lot of activities for one person. And for me, I try to talk with my husband in the future and say, hey, one day I cook, other day try to help me to cook, and one day try to help me care the kids. This is the equal for me, because I am not only staying home and cook every day. I wanna take my money, get my money, save money, and make different goals. Because for me, it's important be independent.
Yes, so you are also favor of 50-50 working. So you are
Good.
also
I'm giving you guys tour of my complex also.
So, Surinder
so
sir, what's
Surinder
your
sir,
opinion?
what's your
Your
opinion?
society, what
Your
needs
society,
to
what
be?
are you saying?
So Brenda, huh?
Yes, yes, Amarnath sir.
Yes, yes, Amanat sir.
Yes.
You're asking me?
No, no, Brenda.
Okay, what is the question? I just missed it.
I think Brenda
I think Brenda
told her
told
opinion.
her
She is
opinion.
in,
She is
till
in
now
till
not
now
Yeah.
married.
not
After marriage,
after married.
she wants her
She wants
opinion.
her opinion.
Like,
Like
Yes, I
Yeah.
have I have one question for Amanji. You prefer
Yeah.
a professional daughter? I don't know if you have a daughter. You have a daughter, Amanji?
it's in some network.
A daughter. I have
Oh,
a son. I have
oh, you only a
32 years
son.
old son. So
yes, Amarnath sir has
Yes,
no
Amanat
daughter.
sir has no daughter.
yeah.
When
And
okay, I, yeah, I have a question now. Okay, you have only a son,
you,
but imagine you have a daughter. You prefer a professional
yeah,
daughter,
go ahead.
or
Yep.
yeah, you prefer a professional daughter, or only a daughter for
Uh,
care the kids? Because
well, that's what I was.
yeah,
Yeah.
the actually in the actuality is important that woman be a professional.
Okay, so that's pretty much that's what I was telling you that in the Indian community here, which is highly educated, upper middle class, Indian community in this country is pretty much what you call the top 10% of the people who have the highest income. So the reason is that Indians started coming in this country in 60 sorry uh, in large number in 80s, and mostly they were engineers or doctors to or scientists. That was the community. So they are when they came here, they did masters or PhD, and then they went to work. So they automatically at the workplace they also jumped into the top of the cream of the society in the at the workplace. And when they decided to get married, most likely they got a professional from India as a wife, and or so children normally here are all highly educated, upper middle class. I mean, all the Indian kids are pretty much you can throw a stone and you can choose either they are engineers or doctors or lawyers or scientists, accountants. I would say that mostly this is the pretty much 80% of the Indian kids in the second generation. Hmm. So, like I explained, they are not any less than the boys in anything. They have accomplished just like boys. And I mean, in my case, I had only one son, but the people I know, they also have two, three kids. It's the same thing. They all become um, highly educated professionals, and they have their own life. I mean, it's very common to see. There are some families where there are like combined families of what you call the from the mother side and father side. There would be there would be 20 doctors. I mean, uh, I was in a like for example, I was in a community conference one time and I fell on the side. and they were like, that was in the hotel in New Jersey. I had just come from India a few years back. It was like maybe 2007 or 8, something like that. And I had to attend a conference of the Brahmin Samaj, which is our community of the people in New Jersey. So I, from straight from the hotel, went to, I mean, sorry, from airport, went there, attended conference one day, and second day at the breakfast time, I don't know what happened. I ate something, and I kind of passed out there, in the gossiping, or not in the conference hall. And probably like there were all kind of doctors there in that conference. They all started attending me, and then they sent me to the hospital with a doctor of, mainly they were concerned if there is any heart problem or anything. So it's very common, you will see that they all are highly educated, and then they choose, uh, it's very difficult that they are not making, many of them are deciding not to get married. That's another problem we see here among them. And you don't know where they are going to marry. They don't care about Indian. They could be marrying white, black, Spanish, Asian, non-Asians, African, depending on, like I said, school, college, work, wherever they find a partner who could be a good partner, I think, if they decide to, or they just wait, and then when they become more comfortable in 30s, late 30s, I would say, then they really jump into the relationship. And so that's how it is. And they have to share the chore, because what you do when both wife and husband, it's very common that both of them are doctors. Normally, for the doctors, you will see that wife and husbands are doctors. Engineers mostly are, both are engineers. Or combination, you will see doctor engineer. This is the most common in Indian spectrum of the society. You'll see also accountants and lawyers, but probably lawyers are the least number right now, and politicians, of course, are even further, very very low right now. But other than that, they just have to do the same thing. They have to decide if they want to raise family, how they are going to do it. My battery is going low, so back to you, and I'll plug in since I'm home now. I'll listen. I'll listen. Thank you.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, okay, sir.
So, Sanjay
So,
sir, I have
Sanjay
one
sir, I
question.
have one
If
question.
compared to
If
our
we compare
ancient
to our
time,
ancient time,
then we see that
then we see
ancient
that
time
in ancient
breakup
time
is
breakup is
few
a
compared to
few
right now,
compared to right
current time.
now, current time.
Mm,
Yes, sir.
that's true.
So main
So
main reason
main
we see
reason
that
we
only
see that only
ancient time house
ancient time
means
house
women work
means
is as like
woman work is
housewife,
like
but right now
housewife, but
it's
right now it's a
working
working woman.
Yeah.
this is
So you see why relationships thrive and why do they break? What is the root cause of all this?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I think any relationship works on trust. So trust is very important in any relationship, and trust can be suo moto, means on its own, or it can be forced and forced trust. So I'm not sure in modern world and forced trust works anymore. It's all suo moto because of obvious reasons. We have a lot of technology now, information technology. Information is available to everyone at any time, at anywhere. So this is a very sensitive topic, that why in earlier time less breakup or uh, coherent marriages were there as compared to now. Maybe in old time also there were in incoherency present, but it was not coming out because of communication. Now a lot of communication takes place, and the fundamental emotions are still same. 10,000 years back or now, emotions are still same. We are same human being. Only difference is the communication and mode of communication has changed. The exposure has been a lot, in these days as compared to even 25 years or 50 years. If you compare society, a lot of exposure is now. We are in a era, fortunate enough to see a rapid transition at exponential, rate that has taken place in past 50 years. A lot of technological changes as compared to, past thousands of years. So I'm still struggling to define the root cause why in old time, the marriages were more successful as compared to now. So there are few factors, like if we understand why marriages break. If we do 5 why analysis, we are used to this 5 why analysis in industry. So we keep asking why, until we get the real root cause where we can work upon to improve the process. We are all engineers, so we focus on improving the process. So first we have to understand what is the process that keeps the husband wife together, and is that process same in every society or differs from place to place. So your question is very specific to society of India, right, Pankaj?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not a sociologist, and I don't dare to define a process of marriage. So in India, earlier time, most of the societies were patriarchal societies, right? And before independence, I think it was more agrarian society, if you say. And in villages, the the society was village centered, not city centered. For most of the population, I will say. So in village, those who have land, they were doing agriculture. Those who didn't have, they were surviving on people who had land, helping them and working in their land to grow the crops. and and there were few more works available, like paternal work like carpentry, or uh, smith work, or some some people were doing business, selling things, goods, exchanging things. Bartering system was also there because not much currency was in circulation. So people also used to barter. If I remember, in my childhood, I have seen exchanging fruits or vegetables for rice or wheat or corn. I have seen this in my village. So society was very much agraria, or rural centered, rural focused, right? And in rural society, uh, the more hands, if a family has, better it is. That was one of the reasons why population also grew in agriculture and rural society, because we didn't have machines. Now hands are replaced by machines, so we need less, people. So now, but still, India is one of the largest populated country now in the world. I think 135 crores, 1.35 billion people now. It has crossed China, I believe, recently. So if you see, if I recall the process of marriage, institution of marriage, so it was mostly around survival of the family and procreation of kids, and men were mostly working. Women was taking care of the home and kids, and sometimes also helping men in agriculture or something when they have time. And women used to have more physical strength as compared to women now, because of the obvious reasons. So so they were so much closely knit family and bonded because of survival, because of the need to survive. day to day in most of the families. So there was no question of parting away and parting and going to whom, right? So the framework was like that, right? And now the framework has totally changed, or it is changing in India. It has not fully changed, but it is changing. So that framework, now defines that new process of relationship and survival of marriage, and that is, I will say, the root cause of more breakups, or uh, uh, not living together, or you know having differences in opinions, or because it is no more a question of survival. Food is in plenty. Everyone, especially in urban area, has a house. Right? And people are moving from rural to urban areas. But still, I will say 60%, 65% population in India is in village now. But I think your question is more towards urban, because you all live in urban society, and I think your question is related to that. So, so the process has changed, right? Process has become more, independent. Even if it is not closely mixed, people can survive. Food is no more an issue. Roof is no more an issue, right? Other things uh, you know, have popped up, you know. So once you have additional money, you know, additional resources, then you want to go out, on on tours and vacations, right? And buy things of materialistic interest. So you are no more. There is no more question of basic things. There is food, roof, and clothing. So these are in plenty now in urban area. So that thing has changed, and the process is also changed, right? So on a nutshell, I will say that maybe the root cause, the change in process of keeping marriages together. The parameters, the factors that were responsible for keeping families close are totally new now. I'm not sure what keeps family together now. You know, maybe more time with each other, more trust. You know, and I don't know in which direction we are going. Because it is a VUCA world now. VUCA means volatile, uncertain, complex. A stands for what, I don't know. So it is a very different world, and many of us are still figuring out that where are we now, and in which direction we are going. Because technology is changing at a very, very fast pace, exponential rate, like you said. So 5 years back, 10 years back, things were totally different, and now it is changing. I will not give you accurate answer, but maybe I can point towards the process that has changed.
Thank you, sir.
So, Amarnath sir,
So, Amarnath, sir,
you want to say something?
you want to say something?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening. I don't think I have anything else to say. Uh, you guys continue. Maybe Brinda has some more questions, then I can answer if she has any for her next door neighbor, United States.
Hey,
When is it?
actually, sir, for any
Actually, sir,
society
for
to
any
grow or
society grow
continue,
or continue,
marriage life is always good.
marriage life is always good.
See that
But
with
we see
Amarnath
that
sir,
with Amarnath sir
USA
in
marriage life is
USA,
only
marriage life is
7 years.
only 6 to 7 years average. So
It is not good for
this is not good for society.
suppose no any
Suppose
And
no,
it's not only the
yes
United
sir,
States, the
yes,
same
sir.
with Europe
yes
too.
sir,
Yes, sir.
Europe has the same
and it will
problem.
grow
And it will
for
grow
world,
to whole
not
world,
only USA.
not
Yeah.
only USA and Europe.
So I think this is what happens. It is called bad fruit of industrialization. You cannot have all good things, right?
We are working because
We are
no, but
Some
not
character.
only a
but
machine,
not a
only for
machine,
work.
so only for working.
Yeah, and I mean, whether we like it or not, but really, we are being transformed into a kind of piece of machine in the society. That's the problem. That you have to show up to work 24/7. Somebody has to do things. Factories are now running 24/7, right? Everything is continuous. So somebody need to be there. So basically, we have become machine to feed those 24/7 requirements.
So now
Now
7:37 is also
7:37 is
time.
also time.
Yeah, I think we can continue some other day.
Right.
I think this is good
Yes
discussion.
sir. Thank you
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you everybody.
Thank you Sanjay sir.
Thank you, Sanjay,
Thank
sir.
you, all of you.
Thank you Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you Sanjay sir.
Thank you, Surinder, sir.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for organizing
Thank
this.
you sir.
Thank